So, the mansions have just been released in GTA Online and are already splitting the community in half. Some think they're the best addition to the game since release, while others think their potential's been squandered away. I can understand where both sides are coming from, so I'm here to show you the good and the bad. Everything in mansions can either help you make money, disappoint you, or do nothing at all, so let me take you through the motions. This is how to make your mansions work for you in the last big property DLC in GTA Online. Each chapter of this video is broken down in the description, so you can go to what part is relevant to you. I'll start off with how the mansions can improve your money making potential, then show you how to apply these improvements in practice. I will then show you how to set up your empire for the best daily rotations possible, with what properties to buy and where to buy them. Lastly, if you stick around until the very end, I'll give you my opinion on the DLC, if you care for that sort of thing. Chapter 1. Mansion Rotation Enhancement. The mansions have brought 3 new features that can help us with our daily rotations. The first is the new AI boost that can boost the production speed of any one of your stock properties by 50% for one in-game day. This can only be used every 24 hours in real time, so choose wisely. And, unlike the Acid Lab and the Stash House, this resets exactly 24 hours from the last time you used it rather than at midnight like the other two. It functions like the wheel spin in that way. The second is the new mansion security that adds an extra layer of defense against property raids. The neat part about this though is if you own both the mansion security and security in all of your businesses, raids are fully prevented. No more worrying about losing your stock, so sudden MC raids and ghost raids for CEO crates are no more. And the third is the new AI fast travel that allows you to both instantly travel to your other mansions and to every other property you own. That even includes service vehicles. This feature is key to upgrading your daily task efficiency. Now, let's add these features into your daily rotation to increase your money-making efficiency. I should mention that this is an updated method from my previous video, Mansion Millions, so if you want the full breakdown of the method and how much you can earn using it, you should go and check it out, link in the description. A small interjection with some clarification. A rotation, as far as time is concerned, is every 48 minutes, as that's how long one day in GTA is. However, rotation also refers to what can be completed within those 48 minutes. If you imagine every task you do in GTA each day as a list, a rotation is every time you restart that list within 48 minutes. The tasks on that list can only be completed once per day in GTA, so the list itself can only be completed once per GTA day too. Using the CEO warehouses as an example, you can only talk to the technicians once every 48 minutes, so once that's completed, you can only do it again during the next rotation. There are 2 variations of the rotation strategy, both starting in your new mansion. One using vehicles and the other using fast travel. The first is very similar to the original. I start off in my mansion and use the AI boost on the Acid Lab if it's available, as you can use the boost from the Acid Lab itself as well to double that boost. I also use the master control terminal to check the stock of my businesses so I know what to sell after the rotation is complete. Then, I fast travel to my hangar and source a crate through Rockstar. Using my Raiju, I locate the stash house and complete it. Then head over to my first CEO warehouse and source a crate from the tech. Because of the layout of my businesses, I do them in order of position rather than type. As the rest of the rotation contains a lot of interiors, for ease, I switch over to the Oppressor Mark II. I then head to the auto shop to send off the customer cars, then go to the bail office to send off the agents and collect the safe if it's full. Then, if it's the first rotation of the day, I call in the Acid Lab to both check the stock and activate the boost. I go to the remaining 4 warehouses and source crates with a quick call to RAF on the way to check the heat of the 3 Moneyfronts properties. If any are above 90%, I'll do a quick mission to cool them off. Finally, I'll go to my nightclub to check the popularity and complete one of the in-club popularity missions to keep the popularity within 5 bars. All of these tasks should take around 10 to 15 minutes total. Then, in the downtime before starting the next rotation, I'll collect any full safes, sell any full stock, and then either log off the game or AFK in a taxi. I should note that if you sell stock from your mansion control terminal, it will still spawn wherever the business is rather than where your mansion is, so just fast travel to the business first before selling. Now for the fast travel method. The things we need to complete every rotation are the same, but it's how we get to them that changes. I still begin this method by checking stock, using the AI boost, and going to the hangar and doing the stash house, but after that I do a quick lobby swap to get back to the mansion. Then using the fast travel, I go to my first warehouse, then lobby swap again to go back to the mansion, then fast travel to the auto shop to send off the cars, then lobby swap again, and continue this for all of the rotational tasks. This means that apart from selling, doing missions, or doing the stash house, your travel time between properties just depends on your internet and your platform's load times. I think this is likely faster overall, but it means you'll be playing the game a little less. It's not for everyone, so do what works for you. Chapter 2. What and Where. Having the most effective rotation comes with having the most effective locations, so here is a quick rundown of the property locations I recommend for the most streamlined experience. I'm going to go in order of most to least useful in terms of the Mansion Millions method. Most of these properties can be sold at full stock solo, but I will mention otherwise if not. Starting off with the mansion itself from Prick's Luxury Real Estate. As you have fast travel, it doesn't matter which one you buy, so buy which one speaks to you, or do what I did and buy all three. For the hangar from Mazebank Foreclosures, I recommend the LSIA hangar A17, as it's the cheapest and is closest to the city where everything else will be. However, if you're only logging into the game 2 times a day like I am, I recommend the Fort Zancudo hangar 3497, as it's more central on the map, so if the daily stash house spawns at the top of the map, you don't have to fly from one end of the map to the other. For the office from Dynasty 8 Executive, I would recommend Mazebank West, as it's the cheapest option. You'll only be using this to buy warehouses, so location isn't that important. For the warehouses bought from the office terminal, I recommend Darnell Bros Warehouse, Logistics Depot, Cypress Flats, Cypress Warehouses, and Walker & Sons Warehouse, simply because they're all fairly close together and in an easy line for daily crate sourcing. If you're wondering why I don't own 2 of these, it's because they weren't available back when I bought my warehouses. For the agency, also from Dynasty 8 Executive, I recommend Howick as it's closest to your other properties. Everything else, apart from the biker businesses, are bought from Mazebank Foreclosures. For the auto shop, I recommend Mission Row because it's the cheapest and closest to the warehouses and the bail office. For the bail office, I recommend Mission Row because it's closest to the warehouses and the auto shop. Funny thing that. Make sure you purchase both of the agents so you can utilize the passive income for this property. For the arcade, I recommend Videogeddon on La Mesa, as it's the closest to the highway and other properties. For the nightclub, I also recommend La Mesa, as it's right near 2 intersecting highways and a bunch of other properties. For the garment factory and the 3 moneyfronts properties, there's only one option, so that's nice and easy. A side note with the garment factory, only buy this if you're going to do the missions, as the cash flow is pretty terrible for solely passive income. For the salvage yard, I recommend Murrieta Heights, probably butchered that name, as it's close to the other properties. Just like the garment factory, only buy this property if you're going to use it for the salvage missions, as it's terrible for solely passive income. For the bunker, I recommend the Thompson Scrapyard, as it's fairly central and is right next to a highway. If you're selling this solo, sell after using 1 set of supplies as it guarantees 1 sale vehicle. For the biker clubhouse, I recommend Great Chaparral, as it's the cheapest. You'll only be using this to buy the other biker businesses, so location again doesn't matter. For all 5 of the biker businesses, I would recommend the cheapest option, as you'll only visit them when you're selling stock. If you are selling these solo, the rule of thumb is to only let 1 bar of stock fill up before selling. However, if you're only filling these up with the stash house like I do, and not paying for supplies, I recommend selling at full stock, as in the long run, you'll make more money even if you don't fully complete each sale. Just as an extra mention for the biker club, I've previously mentioned that you can avoid being raided by only registering as an MC when inside of your properties. This is still true, but applies to your entire MC, so if anyone within your MC is outside of the property, there's still a risk of getting raided. Chapter 3. My opinion. So you stayed for my opinion. Thank you. Another interjection. Some people in the comments of my previous videos have asked if I stream at all, so I decided to give it a go. My friend Rose and I streamed our reactions to the Mansion DLC the night of release, and I'll be uploading the highlights of that to my second channel in the coming days. If that sort of thing interests you, please go and subscribe to that channel so you can get notified when it appears. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks a ton. For most of the items in this update, I don't think they're inherently bad, but everything could be improved in one way or another. Just like with most other updates in GTA Online, there's a lot of potential, but only about half is fully realised. First up, fast travel. I think in practice this is a really good idea, as it's been a gaming staple for years, but it can only be used while you're in your mansion. Once you've used it, you can't use it again until you return. It would have been better if the limo you can call using the AI was the fast travel instead, so you could go all around the map in seconds. At the very least, it could fast travel back to the mansion so you can use the fast travel from there again. However, I do like that the fast travel exists at all, as it provided another method for easy rotation. The Daily Boost. From the trailer of this DLC, I and many other people thought that the AI enhancement to our businesses would be something like a 5% increase to all sales and or production efficiency, so when we just got a small boost to one property once a day, it was quite underwhelming. It's better to have it than to not have it in its current state, but it definitely has some lost potential. On a similar vein, the control terminal. I think it's fair to say that most people are sick of seeing the same control terminal copy-pasted into so many properties, and with this being the big final property added to the game, I was hoping for more. It still allows you to check your businesses like every other and still spawned your sale vehicles miles away, so that's nothing new. At the very least, it could have had one of your mansion employees bring the sale vehicle to you and allow you to access both MC and CEO businesses at the same time instead of having to switch between the two business types. More lost potential, really. Garage space. This one pains me more than it probably should, as I like having a lot of vehicles in one place. A good example of this is the CEO office garages. They can only have 20 vehicles, but it looks like the space is well utilised. In the mansions, however, you can only have 10 vehicles per level, 20 in total, but there's so much open space where you could have fit more cars. I think this could have easily been a 30-car garage at the very least. Additionally, I don't know why the podium and the exterior slots don't count as extra slots. If you have a vehicle outside or on the podium, it has a reserved slot in your garage, so you're left with an awkward gap, which makes my first point even more painful. There's a loading screen between the garage and the main mansion area, so I'm not really sure why this was a problem. On the plus side, the fact that we can buy all 3 mansions to have 60 more garage slots is a nice touch. The helicopter. This is more of a nitpick, but still. I own one, just put it there. Just let me store it here, or just let me change the colour of the Volatus that spawns here, just like you can with the one in the submarine. That was my whole point, really. The AI phone features. This goes back to my earlier point somewhat. You can use the AI boost from your phone, which is only really useful if you don't spawn at your mansion, or you just forgot to do it before leaving. The limo is just a glorified taxi that you can use drive-by weapons in, granted, but when rushed, it still mostly follows the road laws, making it pretty useless. I just bought the car and drive it myself. The last feature on the phone is being able to spawn a high-end vehicle. It does what it says on the tin, so there's not really a lot to say about it. It's useful if you don't have a car to hand in a pinch, but outside of that you likely won't use it. The mansion. Okay, there's a lot of mixed opinions about this. I think the property itself is really cool. It's big, it's grand, and it does make you feel like you're at the end of your GTA journey. The customization is so-so, but at least there is some. The fact that you can't change the exterior is a little sad, as you can go outside, but not a deal breaker, as you haven't been able to do this with any other property previously. The potential loss here is that all 3 mansions are practically the same. They have slightly different exteriors, but everything inside is the same. I would have preferred the option of 3 completely different types, the one we have, an old style mansion like this one, and another one altogether. It would also be useful if you could have 3 separate AIs, one in each mansion, so you can get 3 production boosts a day for buying 3 mansions. The additions to the mansion are kinda mid as well. The arcade area is just something you could have fast traveled to. The weapon workshop can't be used by other players like in the agency, the casino/nightclub room is just a copy-paste of the penthouse, and the vehicle workshop doesn't let you access weaponized or agency tech. It's cool to see all this come together, and I'm not massively hating on these features, they're just okay. The pets are a nice addition, as it's something people have wanted for a long time, and it's understandable why they can't free roam with you in online. However, they could have at least had them move around the mansion instead of spawning in a different place every now and then and just being stationary. I've never seen them walking around, so tell me if I'm wrong on this one. I do like the minigames of working out and yoga, as they give you little boosts to mess around with. Not something we needed, but a nice 5-minute feature nevertheless. I know that there's going to be someone out there who says mansions are underpriced, but I think they are in a pretty good spot. Considering the other domestic properties, like the Eclipse Tower Suite, mansions for their size, features, and extra garage space do fit the asking price. They're not overblown like every vehicle nowadays. Finally, the missions. I know at the very least me and my friends were looking forward to either doing a heist or some contact missions with Michael, and the reality of the update was far from it. As a GTA community, we're slowly putting the pieces together that the update may have been split in two because of GTA 6, but that isn't a good excuse for what we got. The missions we did get were for some C-plot about driverless cars that weren't really that enjoyable or replayable. This is likely largely due to the fact that we just wanted to see Michael and never got that payoff in any big way. Personally, I think they shouldn't have shown Michael at all and left him for the Safe House in the Hills Part 2. Maybe then, the forgettable character missions would have been more engaging. I ended up just rushing through them to see the 5-minute mission with Michael at the end, which just made the DLC fly by in 2 days flat. All in all, I think that this DLC adds some good content, but also needs some quality of life improvements. In any case, I think it would have been better to release the mansions without mentioning Michael until we also get his heist, as seeing him for one cutscene in a single 5-minute mission is a big letdown. Without the AI car missions and the lack of Michael, the DLC would have likely been more well received. And I think that about sums everything up. Let me know what you think of the DLC in the comments, or just how wrong you think I am. If you found this helpful and would like more content like this on the channel, please leave a like and consider subscribing, it helps out a bunch. Thanks for watching, stay brilliant viewers, ta-ra! Many thanks to my Patreon supporters, they help keep the channel running and videos being published. The snake icon below will take you to the channel to see more of my stuff, or you can click on what YouTube thinks is the next video you should watch from my previous content. Anything else can be found in the description. Thanks again for watching, ta-ra!